Welcome to this 60-minute slow, strong, steady live practice. I hope you enjoy. Be sure to click subscribe below and sign up for my newsletter at laureneckstrom.com so you can be invited to join these practices each time I host them live. Have a beautiful practice, and I'll see you at the end.
Welcome to your practice today. As you arrive, I would suggest having at least one block. That's always personal, but I find it to be supportive for practice. And today, have a strap somewhere nearby your mat. Just this reminder that there are no fancy yoga props that are necessary for practice. So if you don't have a yoga-specific strap, any piece of fabric will do, a belt, a scarf, a fitness strap, and just have that somewhere nearby. And we'll use that closer toward the end of practice. So as you settle in, having your block and your strap or something like a strap nearby, we'll come into child's pose today. Big toes together, knees a little bit wider than the hips. Outstretching the arms and either resting the forehead to the earth or stacking the palms and resting the forehead on the backs of the hands. And another gentle reminder that if child's pose is not a place that feels appropriate to your body today, come onto your back or find some place that allows you to settle in and beginning to cultivate this inner quality of steadiness that we'll be focusing on today. And so whether you're in child's pose or you find another position appropriate for your body and your mind and your heart and your spirit, allow your eyes to maybe close, or at the very least, soften the gaze. And steadiness often begins with the fluid motion of the breath, especially in an asana or physically embodied yoga practice. We know that prana is the force of life, and through pranayama, we can start to calm the fluctuations of the mind. And so just really simple here. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh out any heaviness. And through the nose, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out the nose, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Through the nose, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Out the nose, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in smooth 1, 2, 3, 4. And one long breath out. 2, 1. Last time, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And letting the counting go and having a deep sense of trust that that even fluctuation of breath will be there to support you through practice. Stretch your arms out ahead if they're not already there, planting the palms down toward the earth. And on your next inhale, rise up to tabletop pose, shoulders above wrists, knees underneath the hips. And we're going to take a slow, specific start, but that doesn't mean that things won't be challenging today. And oftentimes, moving slower is challenging for many of us. And from tabletop position, start to drop the belly down as you lift the sitting bones to the sky, and then let the movement travel up the spine. The tips of the shoulder blades melt down, the heart starts to lift, and then the gaze lifts forward. And these movements today, unlike traditional cat-cow, might take several breaths. And then we'll reverse it. Just keep breathing the whole time. Begin to tuck the chin. Begin to press into the heels of the hands. Begin to lift the heart toward the sky as you start to round the upper back. Let that rounding travel to the mid back, the lower back, and then tuck the tail under and see how round you can get. And then like this, on the in-breath, the belly melts, the heart starts to pull through, the shoulders slip down the back, the gaze lifts, and then you pause at the top in that full back bend. Maybe you even take an extra breath today as we really start to awaken and articulate the spine. And then from the top of the head, tuck the chin, start to gaze down toward the floor, let that travel down the neck, between the shoulder blades, down the middle of the back, the low back, all the way to the tail until you tuck the sitting bones down, lengthening them toward the backs of the knees. And one more time, just see how slow you can go on your own, as if you could feel every little piece of tissue starting to awaken with these tiny specific movements, as if you could feel each vertebrae moving on its own, unhurried and unrushed, but very specific. You'll round in just one last time, again, just seeing how slow you can go. Maybe it even takes you 3 or 4 breaths to go through a full movement. And then on your next inhale, in your own time, find tabletop pose, that center line. And notice you can really feel center because you move slow and you were so specific. And this is what steadiness is like. With the shoulders above the wrist, the fingers spreading, step the right toes to the back of the mat for a moment, and then just rock on the toes a little bit. Press the heel back, come forward onto the toes. And we start to lose sensation in the soles of the feet as we age. And this is why oftentimes balance gets so interrupted the older that we get. And gosh, we just really don't want to lose that. Because the healthier we stay, oftentimes, so much of what happens as we get older comes from actually falling down, not from any illnesses that we get. So we really want to keep promoting balance and aliveness in the toes and the feet. Pause on the inhale. And then lift the right leg up about the height of the right hip and just drive the right leg back. So you're in half of a sunboard pose, a place that's really quite familiar to you. You could stay here or sweep the left arm forward. And notice you don't collapse in the right shoulder as you do that. And you keep breathing. So that same smooth breath in through the nose, down into the body, if it's available today. Back out through the nose as you just try to lengthen the foot away from the hand, seeing how long you can get, not how high you can lift everything. Core lifted, front ribs softening in. Take one more inhale, reach out, and then back to tabletop as you exhale. Right knee under right hip, left hand underneath left shoulder. Step the left toes back and rock a few times there. Heel pressing back, rocking forward onto the toes. You might feel this up the calf. Some people might feel it across the arch of the foot, a place that sometimes really tender for a lot of people. And spreading through the toes and really feeling the toes down on the floor. So almost like you could take a stand into that leg. And on your next inhale, lift the left leg the height of the hip. Feel the outer left hip rotating down and the outer right hip hugging in. And then breathe behind that wall of strength. Sweep the right arm forward. Gaze down long through the neck. And so you're not over tucking the chin. You're also not looking too far ahead. And we can even think about the energy centers of the body. We want to keep the core connected to the heart, connected to the throat, connected to the crown of the head. So there's this long line of energy through which information can spread. Take one more inhale, reach it all out. And then exhale, set it all back down onto the mat, and we're going to flow it as steadily as we can. Inhale, right leg and left arm lift. Tabletop pose on the out breath. Inhale, left leg and right arm lift. Exhale, tabletop pose. Inhale, right leg and left arm. Exhale to the mat. Inhale, left leg and right arm. Exhale to the mat. Last cycle. Inhale, right leg and left arm. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, left leg and right arm. Exhale, place it all down, pause there, and then step the feet back to the top of a push-up, or you can modify with the knees behind the hips. And then rock again on the toes. forward and back. And this is that motion that we need to enter into chaturanga. We come forward onto the toes. So the next time you come forward to the toes, pause there, take a breath in, and then exhale and lower slow. Elbows hug the waist, release all the way down onto the mat. Tops of the feet flat, stretch the arms behind you today, hook the right thumb over the left. Lift the heart up, easy Shalabhasana. Keep pressing the tops of the feet down. Peel the heart away from the earth. Hands lift up and off the low back, take an in-breath. Exhale, heart, chest, and chin down, and then switch the cross of the thumbs, opposite thumb on top. Lift it all back up, inhale, stretch the fingertips back. Little tuck of the chin, so you're long out of the back of the neck. Exhale, lower it all down. Place the hands by the low ribs, elbows hugging in. Inhale to baby cobra. Drag the heart forward. Gaze toward the horizon. Lower slow as you exhale. Toes tuck under, press into the hands. Inhale to plank. And exhale, shift back to downward facing dog and take several breaths there. And so first you establish yourself in the foundation of the pose so that you enter into the body, which is happening right here in the present moment. Feet about the distance of the sitting bones or maybe wider if things are feeling a little tight today. And whether there's a bend in the knees so that you can arc the sitting bones up or whether the legs are straight is wildly personal. Find your place. Align your ears between your upper arms and with your hands shoulder distance, press into the tips of the fingers, press the knuckles to the mat and press the floor away. And then find your breath again, moving the breath all the way down to the lower lobes of the lungs as you feel the parts of your body that are making contact with the mat. Take one more inhale here, maybe press the heart back a little bit. And then as you exhale, take a slow walk up to meet your hands, one foot at a time. And as you arrive, stay folded forward, feet hip distance. Just grab opposite elbows, sway a little bit, hang the head. Nod your chin, nod your head a little bit, yes. A little bit, no. And again, you might open the mouth and sigh out any heaviness that's accompanying you today. Use the breath. Take one more inhale here. And release the hands down as you exhale. Slip the hands to the shins on an inhale. Lift the torso up parallel to the mat. Pull the heart forward. Exhale, fold and melt over both legs. Sweep the arms out to the sides. Inhale, rise all the way up to the sky to stand. And on the out breath, pull the hands down toward the heart and pause for a moment. Close the eyes, stand into yourself. And we're going to begin today with the very traditional start of practice. 5 rounds of Surya Namaskara A and 3 rounds of Surya Namaskara B. And this is going to help establish us back into that state of beginner's mind, which is so important. It's a foundational value of practice. Never assuming, always listening for what's new and remembering what it was like to not know what was coming next. I love the reminder from Iyengar that steadiness is not an end. It is the beginning and it is an instrument. And so you use an inner quality of steadiness from the level of the heart and the level of the breath to feed the steadiness of the body. So that whatever came with you to the mat today, whatever might be on the heart or in the mind, has a chance to settle and clarify. And so from here, we'll do just one moment of linking heart to voice, the sound of Om. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Here we go. Inhale, circle the arms to the sky, stand into your feet. Feel steadiness inside of you as a beginning. Exhale, fold into that steadiness as an instrument of focus and discipline. Hands to shins, inhale, flat back. Plant the hands as you exhale, step back to plank and lower on the same out breath. Cobra or up dog, always your choice. Inhale as your heart lifts. And then press back to downward facing dog. And we're gonna be here for 5 breaths. And so you take this downward facing dog as an opportunity to check in rather than check out. And this is a time really to heat and warm the body. Downward facing dog is not a resting pose. It's quite demanding on the physical body. And so can you stay checked in? Resist the urge to look around. Notice when the mind flits to something else. And you bring yourself back, hands on the ground, breath in the body. You do just this one thing with the fullness of your focus, and you start to build the inner muscle of steadiness. On an inhale, press the thighs back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop, feet to meet your hands. Chest out, inhale, lengthen. Forward fold, exhale and melt. To the sky, inhale as you rise to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. That's round 1. We have 4 to go. Slow it down. Inhale, sweep the arms high above. Exhale, fold forward and empty out. Inhale, lengthen, lead with your heart. Hands down, exhale, step back to plank or float to chaturanga and lower slow. Inhale, matches the back bend, so the lungs have space to fill. And then downward facing dog empties you out as the navel lifts up toward the spine and you're able to re-engage the bandhas. So Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha, that deep lift from inside of you. And here we are again in downward facing dog, and it's a choice that you make inside of yourself. And this is a place where will comes into action. You have these 5 breaths here to do one thing with the fullness of your attention, and it's the type of work that no one else, no external teacher, no one in your life can do for you. Only you can build this muscle. Take an inhale, press the sitting bones up and back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float, top of the mat. Chest out, inhale, lengthen. Fold, exhale, and soften. To the sky, inhale, rise all the way up. Hands to the heart on your out breath. We keep going. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward, let go. Inhale, find a flat back. Hands down, exhale, step back. You could always use your knees as you lower slow. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Again, gaze to the horizon. Don't throw the head back. Exhale draws you all the way back, downward facing dog. And so that reminder from Gandhi that strength is not a physical capacity, but indomitable will. And so it might seem simple from the outside, just looks like you're doing downward facing dog. And the question is, are you really doing downward facing dog and taking 5 present breaths? Or are you somewhere else entirely? Have you vacated your body? Have you vacated your mat? So you might look like you're here, but you might be somewhere else entirely. And that's not meditation. It's also not the living practice. And so you hold yourself accountable, not by beating yourself up, but with tremendous patience and compassion. And you breathe again, you begin again. Here we go. Inhale, press the sitting bones up and back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float, top of the mat. Chest out, inhale. Fold as you exhale. Inhale, rise to the sky and sweep up. Exhale, hands to the heart space. Inhale, circle the arms above. Exhale, fold forward and dive deep. Inhale, glance out and make some space. Hands down, exhale, step or float back, or you use the knees. Inhale, cobra or up dog, always your choice. Exhale, peel back, downward facing dog. And again, you're here for 5 breaths. And so you can count the breaths if that's helpful to you. That one person's length of breath might be different than another's. It should be. We're all shaped differently, have different lung capacities. And so you do your work. Your work is not somebody else's work. And that's what makes this time valuable, that we can each be on the mat together in this shared space and also be attending to the unique gardens of our inner lives and minds and the places inside of us that are needing tenderness and attention today. On an inhale, press the heart back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float feet to hands. Flat back, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale to the sky as you rise all the way up. Hands to the heart on the out breath. And then from here, bend the knees, drop the hips, sit back into chair pose and circle the arms up to the sky. Shift the weight into the heels. Again, seeing if you can lift the belly up and off the thighs. And as you lift the arms up, your job is not to pull your shoulders down the back. We don't want to overdo that, but just have a little bit of space. So space for yourself to be inside of this moment of strength. Take one more inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down, hands to the mat. Heart lifts, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, lower slow. Inhale, cobra or up dog. As you exhale, downward facing dog, and on the same exhale, step the right foot forward without lifting the leg and spin the back foot flat. Inhale, warrior one, ground through the legs, reach the arms up. So our traditional entry into the pose. Right heel beneath the right knee to the extent that's possible today. And then rotating the left hip forward, and you land once again in that instrument of steadiness. So it's an instrument. It's not an end. You're using it to calibrate moment to moment, just as if you were that eye of the stork constantly moving. Can you center yourself in it? Take one more inhale, reach up, maybe gaze up. Hands to the mat as you exhale. Step back and lower on the same out breath. Inhale, up dog or cobra, you flow. Exhale, downward facing dog without lifting the leg. On the same out breath, step the left foot forward, spin the back foot flat, then use your inhale to rise up to warrior one on the left side. Turn the torso forward toward the wall that you're facing. And then maybe close the eyes today. And take this time before we flow it 2 times through to really be right here. Feet on the earth, fingertips reaching to the sky, the sound of your breath vibrating in the back of your throat, calming and centering the mind. So you can be in a strong pose and you can find that steady center inside of yourself. So it's mirrored with what the yogis called sukha, or ease. Another interpretation of that is even joy. Take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step back to plank, lower steady. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. And here you are again, 5 breaths. And it's a choice you make. It's a choice you make about how you want to be in this pose. Do you want to be in this pose complaining about it? Do you want to be in your life complaining about it? Or is there something here right now that you could focus on that's either an opportunity or something that's really working for you? You know, maybe you bypass this pose because we do so much flow and you miss out on the opportunity to strengthen. Maybe this pose, holding this pose during this type of practice is actually awakening you to something inside of you that's asking for your attention today that you wouldn't have otherwise noticed. And here we go. We'll flow through it twice, but we'll hold down dog each round. Take an inhale, heart back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float, top of the mat. Heart lifts, inhale. Fold, exhale. Bend the knees, inhale, sit to chair. Then press to stand as you exhale, trace that center line to your heart. There's a full round. Inhale, rebend the knees, sit back, weight into the heels. Exhale, dive and fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, hands down, step back, lower slow. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Down dog, exhale, step the right foot forward without lifting the leg, spin the back foot flat, rise up, inhale, warrior one. Hands down right away as you exhale, step back and descend. Inhale as your shoulders roll. Exhale, down dog, left foot steps forward, right away, back foot flat. Inhale, circle and lift. First warrior, you rise. Hands down, exhale through the vinyasa. You could always skip it. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, down dog. And if down dog is starting to be a lot for you, you can always take child's pose. But notice why you're making the choice that you're making. Are you escaping from something? Are you escaping from a strong sensation? Are you escaping from maybe boredom or restlessness? And all meditation is asking of us is to become aware, to know why we're doing what we're doing. That's all it asks of us. So if you know why you're doing what you're doing, you're starting to reach that space of what we might call enlightenment. The light is just simply turning on, getting to know yourself. Here we go. Take an inhale, press back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float. Heart lifts, inhale. Fold, exhale. Bend the knees, inhale, sit back. Stand as you exhale, hands to the heart, what we call Anjali check-in. Rebend the knees, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, dive and let it go. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or float, lower slow. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, down dog, right foot forward, back foot flat. One breath, warrior one, you rise. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back, clear the slate. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, down dog, left foot forward, back foot flat, rise up, ground in, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, lower slow. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down dog. Last time we're gonna hold down dog for 5 breaths. Here you are. And you just notice in this very traditional way of starting practice, the steadiness that comes from something that for many of us is incredibly familiar. And I'll often say this to teacher trainees. I know for myself, when I've gone to a yoga class and a teacher has taught traditional sun salutation A, the way we began today, I never think, ugh, I'm so bored of this. I love it every single time. And there's something deeply grounding about knowing these movements are being done right now throughout the world and also across time. Inhale, press back. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, last chair pose of the day. Inhale as you sit back. Stand as you exhale. Bring the hands to the heart. Drop the arms down by the sides. Take a second and just notice. Stay with your breath. How are you? What's the quality of the mind like? The quality of the body? Subtly shifting and changing. Open the eyes, heel toe the feet open about sitting bone distance. Bring the hands to the hips. Lift the heart, inhale. Fold as you exhale, reach down, hook the big toes with the first 2 fingers. Glance out, inhale, make some space. Flare the elbows, exhale, drop yourself in. Remember, wherever you are, you do not need to jam your legs straight. You could put a generous bend in your knees, lift your sitting bones up, and drop the head as you close the gap from chest to thighs. There is a place for you in this practice, always, every day. On an inhale, glance out halfway, release the toes, hands to shins. Exhale, fold back in, lift the feet up this time, and slip the hands underneath the feet, even if you have to bend the knees, almost like you're going back into chair pose. Heart out, inhale, shoulders low. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Close your eyes. Nothing to look at, nothing to see, except inside of yourself. And you don't need to count the breath, but you can feel what we call samavriti in yoga. There's an evenness. And on the inhale, release the hands from out from underneath the feet. Chest out, hands to shins, make some space, feel what you created. Hands down as you exhale, step back to plank, elbows point back and hug in, you hover. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same thing on the out breath. This time, pull the knee to the nose. Roll onto the back left toes. Roll the shoulders over the wrists. See how high you can lift that right thigh into your body. Then look forward and at the last minute, step the right foot through. Spin the back left foot flat. Rise up, inhale, warrior one. Hands behind you today as you exhale, catch an interlace. Knuckles low, heart high. Inhale, lift the chest and bow yourself down and in as you exhale, drop the head. And so part of the quality of steadiness might be embodied in this posture here, the humble warrior, a practice of humility, which is part of beginner's mind, that we don't want to get self-righteous when we're on the path. We want to stay in that space of not just an open heart, but an open mind. On an inhale, rise back up to warrior one, reach up, gaze up. Open up warrior two as you exhale, spread the arms. Sit down into the front right thigh and catch and interlace the hands behind the head today. As you interlace the hands behind the head, flare the elbows out. And with the hands behind the head, inhale to lift the right elbow to the sky, like you're going to do reverse warrior with the hands behind the head. Then exhale your right elbow toward your right knee, keeping the chest open, the left shoulder drawing back. Inhale back up to the center. As you exhale, chin to chest, round in like you could pull your elbows toward each other. Don't pull on your neck, but dome the back like a cat. Inhale, lift the heart, and then arch back, pull the elbows wide apart, like you could find a back bend, lift the heart and the gaze to the sky. Then exhale to center, soften the ribs down, hands still behind the head. We'll flow that 3 times. Inhale, right elbow reverses you back. Exhale, right elbow, right knee tap. Inhale to center. Exhale, curl in, dome and round the upper back. Inhale, lean back, spread the elbows apart. Exhale, back to center, reverse inhale. Right elbow, right knee, exhale. First big flow today. Inhale to center. Exhale, curl in, elbows maybe touch. Inhale, lean back, elbows spread. Exhale, ribs drop down. Last time, inhale, reverse. Exhale, toward the right knee. Inhale, torso lifts back up. Exhale, curl in, round behind the heart. Inhale, lean back, spread the collarbones, and then back to warrior two as you exhale. Spread the arms out. Straighten the right leg on an inhale. Heel toe the back foot in. And as the left toes aim slightly in, reach the right arm out. Draw the right hip back. And as you exhale, right hand to right shin, left arm straight up to the sky as you find your first triangle pose of the day. As you stand tall through the left arm, you might put the block underneath the hand, always your choice. Lean back, open the heart, big breath in. Left arm up and over the crown of your head as you extend. Growing long from the blade of the left foot, all the way through the left hand. Maybe you turn the gaze up and under the left arm. And can you be that instrument of steadiness? Can you feel steadiness as the beginning of each moment, feeding right into the neck so it's never ending? On an inhale, left arm lifts up. As you exhale, circle the left arm down, spin to your back left toes, step your left foot up about 1/3 of the way, seal the sole of the left foot down, and fold over your right leg. So you shift the direction of the hips. We go from external to neutral rotation. Your left toes are pointing as far forward as your ankle will allow. As you draw the top of the right thigh back. And then pour yourself over your right leg. Let your head hang. Be sweet with yourself. Maybe you bring that block to the inside of your right foot. Glance out halfway. Inhale. Left hand to the block or to the right shin and circle your right arm to the sky. And as you circle your right arm to the sky, it doesn't mean it reaches straight up. Stacking the shoulders doesn't necessarily mean that we twist that deeply as we keep the hips neutral and we practice simply turning the heart toward the right side of the space. And so steadiness is not an agenda. We see if we can be right here in the pose that we're in, not needing it to be different than how it is today. One more inhale, lean open. Exhale, fold back over the right leg. Start to bend the right knee. And as you bend the right knee, shift forward and float the left leg up. Bring the hands to the heart, your first warrior three today. chest parallel to the earth. And you see if you can find that same work that you discovered in half sunbird pose, rotating the left hip down, keeping the hips the same height. On an inhale, rise towards standing. Let the left knee draw into the chest and pause there. Plant into your right foot. Reach both hands down. Catch the outer and inner edge of your left foot. On an inhale, start to reach your left leg forward and fold over your left leg. Flare the elbows out, just like you did a moment ago when you were standing. Let there be some rounding in the back, and you're here for 5. Keep breathing for 4. Stay with where you're at for 3. When the mind goes somewhere else, that's usually when the balance leaves, for 2. On an inhale, gaze out halfway. Keep the leg where it is and circle the arms to the sky. Stand tall, take a breath. Float back to warrior 3 as you exhale. Maybe the hands come back to the heart, especially if the back is tender or sensitive. Then spread the arms out wide like a wingspan. And on your exhale, left hand under left shoulder to the floor or to a block. Right arm to the sky into twisting half moon. Heart long. Breath smooth. Find the right hand. Maybe you look up. Maybe you gaze up. Maybe you see the thumb with the eyes. Not necessary. Take one more inhale. Right hand down as you exhale. Start to bend the right knee. Drop step the left toes to the back of the mat. Plant the palms and then stack the right toes on top of the left toes, on top of the left heel. With this toe stacked, take one more breath in and then rotate to the right and land the blade of the right foot down, the arch of the left foot down. Circle the left arm to the sky. So you're in a stacked foot variation of side plank. Take a breath. Step the left foot up about halfway to your mat, to the top of your mat. Left toes point forward, press into the left foot. Let that lift the right hip up and reach the left arm up and over your head. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, hover your right hip down until it's about an inch above the mat and reach your left arm toward the back mat. Inhale, hips up, left arm up and overhead. 2 more times. Exhale, right hip hovers, left arm reaches back. Inhale, lift the hips and sweep the left arm overhead. Exhale, right hip hovers, left arm reaches back. Inhale, left arm to the sky, plant the left hand down, turn the left toes forward and then into single pigeon pose. Move the left foot all the way over to the right side of the mat. Reach the right toes back. Take an inhale, lift the heart and feel your pelvis lifted away from the mat. This is a strong pose actually if we're using the legs and not sitting in the joints and the ligaments. Then exhale and fold your way down. Maybe to the elbows, maybe to a block, maybe the chest rests all the way onto the floor. And can you stay active in the legs? So the right hip pulls forward, the left hip pulls back. And you soften the chin and you turn back inside of yourself. And here it is, the living state of yoga. It's not something outside of you that you're chasing. It's not the achievement of a certain pose or posture. It's the cultivation of this inner awareness. And it's not without strife or suffering. It's not without confusion or grief or pain. All of those things can be there and you can still be steady. And to meditate, the definition is just simply to see things clearly. And so you breathe. And you breathe again. And you use your breath. You use your indomitable will, your focus, and your discipline as a tool. On an inhale, walk your hands back in, wrists underneath shoulders, straighten the arms, tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee, step the left foot back to plank, hold plank because pigeon pose is actually a back bend. So when you hold plank, you counter the back bend. A little lift of your navel towards your face. Take one more inhale. Chaturanga on the out breath. Inhale, cobra or upward facing. Down dog. As you exhale, right away, left foot steps forward, back foot pivots flat. Rise up, inhale, warrior one. Hands behind as you exhale, one finger over, probably the less natural way. Draw the knuckles down. Lift the heart up like an offering. Take an inhale. And then exhale and practice that value of humility. You fold maybe the chest parallel to the thigh. For some people, maybe the left shoulder's on the inside of the knee. Gosh, for some people, maybe the head is on the floor. And it doesn't matter what the pose looks like, as long as you're embodying it safely. What matters more is this internal quality. Can you be humbled by the fact that you've maybe done this pose 10,000 times and your left thigh is still screaming? So a sense of humor about it, which is also key to the path. Ground down, inhale, rise up, warrior one, reach up. Last time you're here today. Open up, warrior two as you exhale. Right arm back, left arm forward. You're here for a moment as you land, head above heart, heart above hips, finding center. Catch and interlace the hands behind the head, and we'll set this up. Reverse on an inhale, drawing the left elbow toward the sky. Exhale, left elbow toward left knee. It doesn't need to touch. Keep the chest opening, left waist under, right waist back. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, curl and round. Elbows toward each other, dome the upper back. Lean back, inhale, spread the elbow, spread the chest. Exhale, as you pause, you find center with the torso. So you take the back bend out of it and we flow. Inhale, reverse the left elbow back. Exhale, left elbow toward left knee. Inhale to center. Exhale, curl and round in. Lean back, inhale, heart spreads. Exhale, take the back bend out. Inhale, round two, you reverse. Exhale, left elbow to left knee. Inhale to the middle. Exhale, curl in and round. Lean back, inhale. Center as you exhale. Last time, inhale, left elbow up and back. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale to the center. Exhale, cat and round the upper back. Inhale as you spread the elbows, lift the chest, and then back to warrior two as you exhale and land. Left leg straight, in breath. Heel toe the right foot in, shorten the stance. Reach the left arm forward, big inhale. Left hand to left shin or a block outside of the foot. Triangle pose, the most stable shape in existence. Both feet grounding, arms spreading, energy moving out in every direction. And finding one point for your eyes, whether they're opened or closed. Lean back, inhale, heart opens, chest spreads. Right arm up and over the head as you exhale. Extending long from right foot to right hand, peel the heart toward the sky. Stand down into your body, this familiar pose you've probably done so many times. And so to stay checked in, what's new today? What's here for you to notice? Maybe a particular muscle is shaking that's new and maybe invigorating. On an inhale, reach the right arm up. Look down as you exhale, release the hands to frame the front foot, pivot to the back right toes, and then step the right foot up about a third of the way, close enough that you can then seal the right foot flat. Bow over your left leg. And as you fold over your left leg, let your head go. And then keep standing heavily into the back right foot. So you're anchored in both of these places, just a different pyramid that you're creating with the legs. On an inhale, pull the chest out, maybe right hand to left shin or to a block. And then on your inhale, circle your left arm to the sky, find twisting triangle pose. We say this each week, but we twist differently, side to side. It's part of the anatomy of the body. Don't get caught up in comparison. What does steadiness look like here today? Take one more in-breath. Fold as you exhale. From here, start to bend the left knee. Lift the right leg up. Float the hands to the heart. Only time you're holding warrior three today. Imagine once again like that opening half sunbird pose, just trying to get the hips level to the extent that's possible, turning the right pinky toe down. On an inhale, rise to stand, right knee toward the chest. Be there for a moment. So you establish your left foot into the mat. Reach the hands down. Catch the right foot with both hands. Kick the right leg out toward your version of straight. Flare the elbows and fold over your lifted right leg for 5. Round in for 4. Dance with the wobbliness for 3. Last 2. On an inhale, gaze out, lift the arms up, keep the leg lifted. You're just passing through. Float back to warrior 3 as you exhale. Maybe hands to heart or arms out ahead or by your sides, always your choice. Then spread the arms out. And at the last moment, right hand down, left arm to the sky, last strong standing pose of the day. To the extent that's possible, stacking the shoulders while keeping the hips neutral so we have an authentic twist. One more big inhale. Left hand down as you exhale, bend the left knee, drop step the right toes to the back of the mat and plant the hands, and then stack the left toes on top of the right ankle. Pivot the heels to the left, the toes to the right, and circle the right arm to the sky. So you land in a stacked foot variation of side plank pose. Step your right foot up halfway to the top of your mat. Lift your right arm up and over your head and awaken the entire right body as you extend. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, hover your left hip down, reach your right arm straight to the back of your mat, and we'll flow it twice. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, hips hover. Inhale, right arm overhead as hips rise. Exhale, left hip hovers, right arm reaches back. Then inhale, lift it all up, place the right hand down, turn the right toes forward, and then step the right foot over to the left. Reach your left leg back, setting up for single pigeon. Drop your right knee open to the right. Inhale at the top. And exhale, fold yourself out and down. Palms connect. Little tuck of the chin. One long line of energy from tail to crown of head as you breathe. And you start to slow the breath, maybe. Some longer, deeper inhales. Some fuller, deeper out breaths. And you just sense this back and forth, this place, this dance, and what we might really call balance, this swaying between ease and steadiness. So in the face of challenge, you stayed with your breath. That challenge might have been at the physical level, or it might have been at the mental level today. And this is why we practice day in and day out. We show up on the mat every day because every day we're a little bit different. And it gives us the opportunity to put these qualities, these deeper spiritual practices of our values into action. Super easy to be steady on a day you feel well rested, full of vitality, things are going well, things are easy in your life. Really different on days when maybe life's a little bit more challenging. Can you still be steady? On an inhale, walk the hands back in, straighten the arms, tuck the left toes under, step to plank, hold plank. Take several breaths here. So just because you hold the pose, you're not holding your breath. So if the front of the body was like an amazing shield of muscular strength, you breathe behind that shield. Take an inhale here. Last chaturanga as you exhale. Cobra or up dog, last time, inhale. Float back to downward facing dog, take a breath. And just notice the qualities that are present now that were maybe more subtle or not present at all in your first downward facing dog, and how that is really imbued with gratitude. Wow, just really grateful I showed up today. Inhale here. Drop the knees as you exhale. Crawl the knees forward, cross the ankles behind you, and roll onto the back. Keep the soles of the feet planting flat. Drop the arms down by the sides. Press into the feet, lift the hips up right into bridge pose today. Maybe you catch and interlace the hands, walking one shoulder under you and then the next. Pressing the outer forearms to the earth, the outer wrists to the earth, and grounding through the legs. Let the breath fill the belly. Let the breath cascade into the sides of the waist. Inhale here. Release the hands, lower slow, upper back, middle back, lower back. Everything touches the mat. We're just here for a moment. We're going to come through one more time so you can stay with bridge or into Urdhva Dhanurasana today. Maybe the hands come back by the ears. If they do, hug the elbows in. Press into the hands and first to the crown of the head. Then straighten the arms and lift the crown of the head from the floor. Otherwise, come right back into bridge or even supported bridge. You have that block. Take care of yourself. Discipline looks different day to day. Sometimes that means going with a modification, and sometimes it means taking the next step. You're the only one that knows whether it's abuse or kindness in this instance. Take an inhale. Tuck the chin, bend the elbows, lower to the upper back, all the way down to the mat. Pause there, take a breath, and then reach down, hug your knees into your chest, and take that strap and toss it over the sole of your right foot as you place your left foot back down onto the mat. Send your right leg straight up toward the sky. You can stay here with the left knee bent, or you can reach the left leg out towards straight, your choice. And then flex the right toes toward the face. Keep the backs of both shoulders resting down onto the mat. Your job is not to pull your right leg up and over your head. Stay grounded, steady. And from that, maybe wise. There's wisdom. And keep what you have. Reach up with the left hand. Take your straps into your left hand and drop your right arm by your right side. Then start to turn your 5 right toes to the left. Don't do anything else except that. So you rotate the head of the femur in the socket of the hip. And then keeping the backs of both hips down on the floor, the whole back of the pelvis rooted to the mat, start to take the right leg slightly over to the left. And you might notice that you only need to go about 15% to awaken the outseam of the right thigh, the space of the IT band. The moment your right hip pops up, you've gone too far. Press the back of the right hip down again. And then breathe. Notice if the jaw gets tight. Maybe smile a little bit, especially smiling through the corners of the eyes. And on an inhale, come back through the center, reach up with both hands, hold the straps, take a breath. Rebend the right knee as you exhale, remove the strap, hug the knee in. Place the sole of the right foot down as the left knee floats in, slip the strap over the sole of the left foot and extend the left leg to the sky. Hold both straps in the left hand. Your right knee could stay bent or your right leg could extend out straight. And take just a few breaths here. This is the safest way that we can forward fold. It takes care of the spine. So we're not overly rounding. We're not putting any of that beautiful material between the vertebrae at risk of herniation. And so if we could just forward fold this way, it would be so healthy, since most of us spend most of the day actually rounded in on ourselves over a desk, a steering wheel, a meal, or even children. And start to turn your 5 left toes to the right. Reach up with your right hand, take a hold of the straps into your right hand. And then from that place, begin to cross the left leg gently over the body as you just start to take that second variation. Toes point to the right, straps in the right hand. Little cross of the left leg over the body. It's so little. Doesn't need to be a lot to be effective. And isn't that one of the beautiful reminders of using steadiness as an instrument? Inhale, come back through center, reach up with both hands, take a breath, hold the straps in each hand. One more inhale through the midline. Rebend the left knee as you exhale. Set your straps off to the side. Hug your right knee into your chest. Cactus the elbows the height of the chest. Drop the knees to the right. Take a very easy twist. Left shoulder stays down, eyes stay closed. Breathe. Come back to yourself. Inhale, float the knees into center. And exhale up and over to the left. Eyes closed. Let go. Those final out breaths, just a full surrender. Inhale back to center, give the knees a squeeze. And exhale, extend the legs out towards straight. Drop the arms down by the sides, rotate the palms to the sky. One final time, deep breath in through the nose. Hold the breath in at the top. See if you can sip in a little more breath. And out the mouth, let it go. And Shavasana. This is what you've been building toward. There is a part inside of us, inside of this culture, that teaches that this moment is not as important as the moments that preceded it. And so in some ways, as much as you are now surrendering into rest, you might actually be called into the greatest practice of steadiness yet. Can you be strong enough to stay? To have that indomitable will that is so much more than physical capacity, but is true strength. A full and final rest. Allow this next breath to be a little bit deeper. Unless you can stay longer, please do. Stretch the arms overhead, bring the legs toward each other, reach through the toes, growing long from fingertips to feet. Rebend the knees, curl onto the left side, cradle the head. Be there for a moment, stay inside of yourself. And press into the hands, eyes still closed if they can be as you rise to sit. And this is always just symbolic of pressing and rising up into a renewed version of ourselves. Bring the hands to the heart, bow the chin. A powerful moment to sit with the effects of your practice today. Helen Keller shared the powerful insight that if life were not, we would not have the opportunity to practice bravery and patience if life were only made of joy. And so we face struggle and we face challenge, and although it might not always be fair, and at times maybe we can't find the meaning, we know in some way it's up to us to assign it purpose. And from the challenge, we know what it is to grow and to expand, to put practice into action. And then in turn, to be able to step off of this mat and to really be of service to others. And so here it is, this chance for you to step off of the mat and embody steadiness today, which oftentimes doesn't look like action, but instead is a quality of deep, deep listening. Inhaling the thumbs to the forehead for clarity of thought, the fingertips to the lips for thoughtfulness of speech, and the hands to the heart for consistency of action, allowing your practice to guide you through everything you're thinking, saying, and doing. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Namaste.
I hope you enjoyed your practice. Be sure to click subscribe below and sign up for interdimensiontv.com, where when you join, you receive your first 10 days for free and you get access to my full library of single classes, audio meditations, yoga programs, and so much more, along with an amazing roster of other teachers. I look forward to practicing with you again.